All right, there we go. How late are we? Everyone's checking. Not too bad. Okay. Apologies to everyone on the live stream because they don't know what's going on. We had to reset up our room very quickly because we have more people here than we thought we would have. Anyway, that's a good problem to have. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. My name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint, and I'm going to be spending about 45 minutes with you. We're going to go through what we call our business introductory presentation. You are very welcome to come speak to me after the presentation. Reserve any of your questions until we're finished. But basically, the presentation is a little bit of background around DuePoint and Constantia, our principles. But the majority of the presentation is really the benefits of this business, particularly to you guys. So, are you ready to begin? All right, good. Let's begin. As you can see, we're a division of a company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. So that's Constantia's little orange logo there. Their offices in the background, so they're just down the road here in Randburg. We don't share offices with them. You might not be familiar with Constantia as a brand, or perhaps you don't even recognize the logo, but Constantia's been in business for nearly 7 decades. So we were founded in 1952. We are a registered insurance company in South Africa. You will become a lot more familiar with this brand because typically in the past, Constantia's never dealt with consumers like you and I. They've only ever dealt with other financial service providers. But through this DuePoint division, we are now approaching members of the public directly, and that's why I say you'll become a lot more familiar with this brand. So go do a background check on Constantia. The FSP number that we operate under is that one over there. We've got a number of financial services board licenses. So we've got a long and short-term insurance license. We've got a investment license. We've got our FSP license. You can find those licenses on our website. You can also go to the FSCA website and go look up our company details there under Constantia. And if you really want to scrutinize our licenses, you can go into the foyer, and above the water cooler, you'll see all these certificates up on the wall. Credibility is fundamental to this process because what we're proposing in this business presentation is a long-term relationship, a long-term collaboration. And the first step perhaps will be a little bit of a leap of faith, but going forward, you're going to have to start building belief and trust in our business. And so do what you need to do. So if you're still a little bit skeptical, you're thinking, I don't know about these guys, go do some research, right? There's nothing wrong with being skeptical, but you need to appease that skepticism. So go do what you have to do. Go check us on Hello Peter. Go Facebook Rob van der Bijl. See if he's been up to any mischief. Because if we're supposed to develop a relationship, any successful relationship is always based off of trust. All right. So that's a little bit of background with regards to our business. We're listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under a group called Conduit Capital, so you can go research them too. The senior staff here at DuePoint are these executives and managers up on screen. So the first 3 individuals are registered chartered accountants. They look after fairly important aspects of our business, particularly our auditing and accounting requirements, but more importantly, our regulatory requirements, which poses probably the most risk to us as a business. Brendan Benfield is our senior executive. He heads up DuePoint. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance. I guess he can thank his father for that. So Dr. Brian Benfield got involved in insurance pretty much straight out of school, started selling insurance policies door to door, and then just went on from success to success. He became CEO of a number of businesses in South Africa. He founded Clientele Life. He founded the IFA. And then his 2 sons, Brendan and Stuart, followed in their father's footsteps, and together they founded a business down the road called Prime Meridian Direct. And Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD as we know it, is now the 4th biggest short-term insurer in the country. In the space of just 10 years, they've been able to reach that position. So they have some wonderful financial pedigree in the Benfields. We're very lucky to have Brendan heading up this division. Then we skip the other 2 accountants because they're not important. Don't worry, they're not watching. We get on to Jane. No, don't worry about them. We get on to Jane and myself. We're the 2 non-accountants. Worry about us more. Jane is very experienced in network marketing, direct selling, referral marketing. She's actually from the UK. And she brings fundamental experience to our business because we're an insurance company. How many people think we're a network marketing business? Not one. Check it, you're all lying to me, to my face. Right, so often we get labeled as a network marketing business, right? We're not a network marketing business. We're an insurance company. The marketing model And that's just one aspect of our business. The marketing model that we've adopted is one of network or referral marketing, right? But that's a fairly important aspect because that's where we rely on our growth. And Jane's experience is paramount to our business, so very important to our business. And then myself, I've been working in advertising for over 25 years, particularly in the digital space, a lot of branding, creative direction. I ran my own digital agency for about 15 years, fairly successfully, because I tell everyone we never retrenched anyone in 15 years while I was there, so you can deem the business to be successful, right? Well, I exited that business nonetheless. It's still in existence today. We did a lot of work for financial institutions. I did a lot of work with Investec in the early days, before they even knew what digital was, right? So that's kind of where I cut my teeth. But this is our senior team. We've got client service staff. We've got admin staff. The mandate of all the staff here at DuePoint is to support everybody that joins us here at DuePoint. Fortunately, we're in the position, the day and age of technology, where we've got a lot of systems that take care of operations, day-to-day operations, and that gives us the opportunity to spend a lot of time supporting the people that join us here at DuePoint. So, that's to serve our business interests, but at the same time, it works towards this collaboration of both of us being effective, because we depend on members of the public for growth. And so everything that we do here at DuePoint is to support you so that you become effective at helping us develop our business. But more importantly, we want to see people that join our business becoming profitable as quickly as possible, because that's the only reason you're here. And if we can achieve these two things, being effective, becoming profitable, then I think we will have a happy business from our side and your side. So that gives you a little bit of understanding about the support. If you join our business, know that you're not on your own, but you have to just lean into that support, because you don't get a morning phone call from Rob every morning to ask you how you are. But if you come to our offices, if you phone us, if you use the systems that we put in place, that's all the support that you need to become effective and profitable. Very quickly, we discuss the circumstance. I'm not going to say we discuss it. I'm just going to tell you about the circumstance that we find ourselves in very quickly. I trust that everyone here already knows the financial pain they're in very well. Right? And that might take all kinds of forms. Some people might be in crisis. Some of you are very forward-thinking and proactive and going to look at something to mitigate crisis. But if we look at the macroeconomics of South Africa, it is in a dismal state. Last week we got told petrol's going up 40 cents again at the end of this month, right? 2 presents in October. That's a special month, right? 2 presents from petrol. And from an economic point of view, I don't think there's too much hope on the horizon, especially if you are 100% dependent on a single line of income, being your salary. So salary just it has a lot of risk attached to it currently. Gone are the days, the old days, when you could join a company and retire with them happily. Those were in the 60s and 70s, right? Was it in the 60s and 70s? Yeah, I think the heat started turning up in the 80s. But nonetheless, I assume that everyone here already understands that, right? You want to change your financial position so that you don't have to deal with any of this risk, so that you can start mitigating risk. And Constantia as a business saw this as a business opportunity. And what we decided to do was launch this division called DuePoint. So it was launched 2.5 years ago. So in February 2016, DuePoint was launched, particularly the DuePoint system. And when we launched the business, we had a number of aspirations in mind. Because what we could have done is, and I'll explain this a little more in detail, what we could have done is we could have just carried on spending money on marketing and advertising. Right, like PMD does, like most insurance companies do. But what we wanted to achieve was social impact. So that's one of the big mission statements of DuePoint, is to achieve social impact. And so when I talk about the aspirations we have in business, it's not just to be effective and profitable. It's about having social impact. And that social impact is about creating financial change for South Africans. So one of the biggest aspirations we have for DuePoint and for the people that join us is about allowing people the opportunity to create wealth. So I assume everyone in the room wants to be wealthy. Right? That's a bit of a silly question. Everyone's got a different definition of what wealthy is. Some people want Bugatti Veyron. Some people just want a Golf GTI in the garage. You can see I'm a petrol head, right? Everything's cars for me. So when we speak about wealth creation, there's a couple of things that we have to get out the way first. And one of those things is getting people to understand the problem of debt in their lives. So we get a lot of statistics from the Financial Services Board. And it shows that majority of South Africans are indebted. From the moment you leave school, South Africans start taking on this debt, right? It's almost like a love relationship that we have, a love-hate relationship that we have with debt. The problem is in the personal finance situation that we find ourselves in, when your average, the salary on average is only increasing by 3%, but we've got inflation that's knocking you back 4.5% every year. It means your salary is devaluing by 1.5% every year, and that's been happening for the last 7 years for South Africans. No one is in a position to pay their debt off any faster. Most South Africans are only in a position where they're trying to keep their head above water. But we're hoping that if we can create a business that allows you to start generating income, that one of your aspirations will be to get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. Because if you really want to be wealthy, you can't keep owing other people money, right? And so, if you can start aspiring to getting rid of your debt as quickly as possible, that sets you up. It empowers you now to start creating wealth. How do you create wealth? It's not by earning more money. You create wealth through the ownership of assets, right? And that takes on lots of forms. It could be property, your DuePoint channel, whatever it is. But hopefully they're assets that appreciate, and hopefully they're assets that create annuity income. And that is where wealth lies. And that is the aspirations. That's the language that DuePoint speaks. When we talk about wealth creation, no, it's that. Create income, get rid of your debt, start creating wealth. Those simple three things. How does our business work? Our guests, you have the opportunity this morning to join DuePoint. Once you join us, we refer to you as wealth engineers. So that's the term for everybody at DuePoint, a wealth engineer. And as a wealth engineer, you've got one task, and that is to go out and build what we call a channel of distribution. Right? That's where the collaboration comes in. Channel of distribution is something that we need so that we can market and sell our products into. And that's what you're going to be tasked with, is creating this thing called a channel of distribution. How does that actually work? It is basically you going out and telling people about DuePoint. That's all that we require. Right? It's like going to a good movie, and then you tell your friends, I went to a good movie. And they go, okay, I'll go check that movie out. Or you go to a good restaurant, and you tell people about the good restaurant you went to. It is just basic. What we've done is we've remunerated referrals. That's all that's happening in this business. So you're going to go tell people about DuePoint, and if you're successful in this process, if the people that you introduce to DuePoint become wealth engineers and product owners, that is you being successful as a wealth engineer, and it leads to a host of benefits for you. So we're going to go through all the benefits. This slide is basically going to dictate to you whether you are interested in this business opportunity or not. Number one, we create additional income. You're all like, yeah, that's obvious, that's why I'm here. Extra money, right? But when we speak about wealth creation, we don't create once-off commission-based, sales-based, activity-based income. That's not creating wealth. We create what we call recurring income. The channel of distribution that you build here at DuePoint is like an asset, and the asset is what is creating the income for you. Why is that important? Think about your salaries. That is what we call activity-based income, right? You have a mandate to work a certain amount of time every single month. Go open your contract, you'll see it specified there. And based on that time that you work for your employer, they will pay you a salary at the end of the month, right? It is very much activity-based. So what happens if next month you decide, oh, December's taking too long, November, I'm going to take off the whole of November. Who's going to get paid at the end of November if you don't go to work? Nobody, because your boss is paying you for activity, right? So now immediately you know that you are constrained by time. What happens if you get very sick and you can't work? What happens if you get an injury and you can't work? What happens if you get retrenched? Zero income, zero income, zero income, zero income. Do you see the risk attached to employment? Employment has a place. It gets to pay the bills for us, right? But when we talk about wealth, you need to start creating an asset that creates recurring income. Because you can spend the balance of October building your channel of distribution, and in November, you don't have to do anything. You do nothing in November. We'll still pay you for the channel that you built in October. And that is why we invest our time into building assets instead of chasing time-based income. All right. Power duplication. So this is definitely a benefit that you want to leverage. It's your opportunity to go out and find other like-minded individuals that will help and collaborate you build your channel of distribution that much faster, that much effectively. Because that means your recurring income will go up that much faster and that more quickly. I'll explain a little bit when I show you what a channel of distribution looks like. Our business is flexi time. It just means that because of the technology that we have, the mobile app that we have, that everything runs in the cloud, so to speak, you have the opportunity to build your channel of distribution anywhere in the country at any time of the day. You don't have to phone us before you build your channel of distribution. You just get on with it. You need your mobile phone, and that is it. There is no startup capital in our business. We've designed this business to have a very low barrier to entry. What does that mean? It means we have very little risk attached to this opportunity. That is a great thing, right? It gives you the freedom to try this business without the fear of losing anything. It also makes the business extremely accessible to a lot of people. Right? We've got full confidence in our business. I often compare us to these smash and grab schemes. Smash and grab scheme will come up and they'll tell you everything you want to know. Right? They get you very excited, but they say, oh, to join, 5,000 Rand. Because they know you're not going to be around next month. Because you're going to realize what you got involved in, right? We are very confident in our business. What we're trying to achieve here at DuePoint is to create long-term relationships with people that want to collaborate and help us build our business, in turn building your own wealth. And so we make it a very low cost to get involved in this business, very low barrier to entry, very little risk, because we know you're going to be around next month, and the month thereafter, and the month thereafter, all right? No qualifications or experience is required. Again, becomes more accessible to South Africans. You get to build an asset that you have ownership, your channel of distribution that you build here at DuePoint, you have legal tender over it. It means you can sell your channel of distribution, right? Like any asset. Also, the antithesis to salary, when you get to around 60, DuePoint doesn't stop paying you because you're too old. What happens at work when you get close to 60? Your boss asks you what cake you like, right? And it's not even your birthday month. Then you know it's time for retirement. Your company has deemed that you're too old to carry on working. Isn't that ridiculous? My father's in his early 70s and he signed a 20-year contract with his employer. That's crazy, right? They think he's going to work for them until he's 92. But you do, you've got all the experience, so why get retired? But this is the realistic outlook that we have for retirement in South Africa. Over 90% of South Africans can't afford to retire. Building an asset at DuePoint that you have ownership over will pay you through your 60s, through your 70s, through your 80s. We never retire you. What happens to an asset when you die? It doesn't disappear, right? You get to seed the wealth that you've built at DuePoint to your beneficiaries. Who would like to pass wealth onto their children when they die? Everyone's very shy this morning. You're all very shy. Everyone, I hope. But at the moment, a very small percentage, a slither of the population actually passes wealth onto the next generation. Majority of us pass debt to the next generation. We call it generational debt. It is a thing. Right? Are you going to be someone who breaks generational debt? I hope so. And so I'm hoping that people will be happy to contribute, to sacrifice their valuable time into building an asset. But what we typically do is we spend 45 years sacrificing 8 hours a day, a third of our lives, into building someone else's business with the prospect of getting to retirement that we can't afford. So how are you spending your time? This is a question you've got to ask yourself. There's no selling involved in our business. So this might confuse a couple of people. You're thinking, well, what on earth are we going to be doing at DuePoint? So our business is very much split in two for regulatory reasons. We've got products on the one side of our business, and we've got business opportunity on the other side of the business. You are involved in the business opportunity side of things. When you go out to tell people about DuePoint, you're telling them about the business opportunity, not about our products. Our code of conduct with you, our contract with you, stipulates you may not market, sell, publish, advertise, anything to do with our products, right? This is a great thing because I don't believe people get excited by the prospect of being told, great guys, this weekend you're all going to go out and sell insurance products to your friends and family and acquaintances and colleagues. No, you're going to go out and tell people, if you want money, I know of a business opportunity that can create recurring income for you That's what you're going to be doing, connecting people to the business opportunity. At the same time, because we are financial business, we have financial products, means our products are intangible. They're not like boxes that we have here in the foyer that you have to go home with today. You don't have to find space in your boot or space in your garage. You don't have to check on stock, right? And so the products in themselves are convenient. But your success at DuePoint is very much dependent on your ability to build a channel of distribution. So I'm going to show you what one looks like. It begins with you. You become the wealth engineer and a product owner at DuePoint, and now you are tasked with going out and connecting other people to the business opportunity. So you might, in this example, go out and speak to 10 people, of which a percentage will say, yes, I want to become a wealth engineer, and they become wealth engineers and product owners. So in this example, you've got 5 people that you've connected to DuePoint. That is the beginning of your channel of distribution, because from that point on, your channel almost takes on a life of its own. You have to be discerning in this moment. So this is what your channel could look like after a certain amount of time. But this could be a strong channel, or it could be a weak channel. What is the difference? A strong channel has strong people in at the top. That is your decision to make. A lot of people that join this business become so desperate to get anyone to join that they do literally let anyone join. People with no resources to become wealth engineers, or at least to thrive as wealth engineers. And that behavior filters into the rest of their channels. And then they come cry to us. They say, oh, my channel keeps collapsing every other month. What you have to be, you've got to think of yourself as a CEO. And the people that you're bringing into your channel are like your board of directors, your board of executives. Bring strong people in at the beginning. Right? I'm going to show you a wealth engineer who brought a very strong person in on his first point, and it's made all the difference to his business. Right? That is only a decision you get to make. Build a strong first point. We call that your first point. Your channel will be strong. Because my hope for people, for wealth engineers, is that if they build a strong enough, sustainable enough channel, and it becomes an asset that you don't have to nurse. You can take 1 month off, 2 months off, 3 months off, and still earn recurring income every single month. That's where you want to get to. I bet no one's thought of taking 3 months off ever in their lives so far. Has anyone even thought that is a possible opportunity in their lives? Never, right? If you become, or if you build an asset that pays out recurring income, that is what is in store for you. Right? Not in 1 year, we're talking 4, 5, 6 years' time. But I'd love to take a 3-month holiday. All right, a quick warning to everybody. Like I said, it doesn't take 1 year. Anyone that professes that they can become successful entrepreneurs in a short amount of time easily is lying to you. And so me up on stage, I will tell you straight. This business is hard. It's difficult. We've designed it so that it is simple. It's a simple business, but it still requires all the work, the time, the effort, the tenacity, the endurance to become successful at DuePoint. And I assume everyone wants to be successful, right? And so we've got this picture. You see the ballerina's feet? We make the mistake of romanticizing entrepreneurship. Anyone know successful entrepreneurs? No one's got successful entrepreneur friends? There's one. You guys need to start hanging out with more successful people. So I've got one friend who's very successful. Very, very, very successful. I wasn't at school with him, but our schools were very close, and we were friends, and he barely got through school. Literally, barely got through school. He was the one at the bottom of the list. You know when the school puts the results up on the board? He was the one right at the bottom. He was the one not praying to get A's and B's. He was praying just to pass every term, right? But he was a fantastic guy, but bad scholar, bad scholar. And so when we got out of school, he then became a bank teller. So we never thought this guy was going to amount to much. He's just bought his 3rd Porsche. Now you must know how that makes me feel. Right? Because traditionally what happens is when we grow up, we always contribute success to these people that have maybe got 2 degrees, that know somebody smart, or we look at it and think, oh, they must have got lucky. That's how we start to think when we look at other entrepreneurs, especially someone who's done so badly, never got a degree. But if you scratch away at that surface, you'll find someone that has worked through the nights, that has probably invested all their money into something. all the stress that goes along with it. Fortunately, what you're doing, what we're proposing is joining a business that has got a lot of experience and success in this field, and you're partnering with a business that does everything for you. Everything for you, right? And so your chances of success are much better, but it still requires the hard work. This is my warning to everybody. No one ever leaves on this slide. I don't know if you're too shy to leave at the prospect of hard work, or everyone's just prepared to work hard. I hope it's the latter. All right. So let's speak about our products here at DuePoint. So we've got 4 products here at DuePoint that you are free to consider. They are all financial in nature. They're all designed with wealth in mind. So they're not arbitrary products. They are the investment products. Investment products are designed to increase your asset value, right? Our insurance products are designed to protect your asset value, mostly for the sake of your family. And then we've got one last product, which is more like a lifestyle product that is there to help you save a little bit of money by reducing your costs every single month. So let's go through the products. They are very straightforward products. There's more information available on our website if you want to go peruse that some more. Access Wealth is our investment product. It's going to cost you 324 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand gets invested into a tax-free investment fund. That sits with Sanlam. It's an actively managed fund. We've got fund managers, fund administrators involved in this product. And then on top of that, we give you 120,000 Rands worth of personal accident death cover. All right, so you've got 100 Rand that goes into your investment fund every single month. You can increase that contribution. 100 Rand is just where we start. So if you want to take full advantage of tax-free legislation that exists in South Africa, you can go up to 2,500 Rand a month if you want to. So we start at 100 Rand and you get 120,000 Rands worth of insurance with this product. You've got full access to the fund. There's no delay or restriction period or notice attached to the fund. Right? You can phone client service, withdraw the funds. It takes us about 5 to 7 working days to transact. All right, so this is the investment product, Access Wealth. The second product is called Wealth Guard. Wealth Guard is personal accident death cover only. It's going to cost you 249 Rand every single month, but this time you get 1 million Rands worth of personal accident death cover. The beauty of our personal accident death cover products is that we don't profile your risk. What does that mean? That means I don't care how old you are. I don't care what your health status is. I don't care that you've got cancer in your family, or you're diabetic, or you're overweight. The product is the same for everybody. The premium remains the same for everybody, and the amount of cover, the 1 million Rand, is for everybody, right? As long as you're over the age of 18. So this product, again, becomes very accessible to every South African. Our third product is a funeral cover product called Family Wealth. It's going to cost you 200, or at least starts at 299 Rand. It gives you 20,000 Rands worth of funeral cover, and it covers up to an additional 5 family members or dependents. We also give you 10,000 Rands worth of debt protection. So if you die, we will pay out 10,000 Rand of debt that you have with anybody, and you can increase your cover to 30,000 Rand as well as up to 10 family members. And again, this product's accessible to everybody because we don't exclude any pre-existing conditions. So if you're over the age of 18, you can take out this product. It doesn't matter what your health status is. All right, so wonderfully accessible product again. That's Family Wealth, the funeral cover. And then lastly, we've got Wealth Points. Wealth Points is designed to lower your cost of living expenses. So think about what you spend your money on every single month. So for $2.99, what we've done is we've gone to a number of businesses and negotiated discounts with those businesses that we pass on to our Wealth Points members. So we've tried to cover the broad spectrum of typically what people spend money on every single month. So you can see there we've got some very appropriate partners. We've got always on Wi-Fi data because people spend money on data, right? So typically a gig costs 100 Rand through always on Wi-Fi data. You only pay 36 Rand something cents. So that's what, 63% discount with them. ShopRite Checkers, 2.5% off your entire trolley as much as you want to shop at ShopRite Checkers, the biggest grocery chain in the country. We've got car manufacturers. We've got other online retailers. Hershey's is very popular. We've got a number of entertainment and lifestyle partners in this program. Half price at restaurants. Half price at hotels. Right? That's all through the entertainer. We are adding to this product all the time. So we are in the final throes. The wealth engineers have heard me going on about this last partner that we're about to put on. We should be revealing it. They tell me we're going live on Wednesday. So a brand new telecoms partner that we're adding to this product. And the premium stays at $2.99, doesn't increase. So we're always looking for new partners to add to the benefit of this business, to the benefit of this product. So if you're looking for immediate benefit, this is the product to have. Entertainer's the only one you've got to wait 6 months on, right? Everything else, you get immediate access to the discounts. So those are our 4 products. We've got more info on the website. There are in-depth review videos of each of the products if you want to get into each of those products. But you are free to consider one or all 4 products. This is a personal decision you will make in joining DuePoint. So those are the products. Very quickly to explain our business model, because every now and again we get the question, well, how does DuePoint pay all the wealth engineers? We don't understand where the money's coming from, right? Very simply, DuePoint does not do any advertising. Traditional insurance companies spend a fortune on marketing and advertising. That is the only way they grow what we call their book value, right? Their business. Has anyone seen a DuePoint logo outside of the building? Ever heard a DuePoint radio advert? Seen us in the newspapers? Never, right? But we still take that portion of our budget. And all we do is we attribute it to the payments that we make to our wealth engineers. We pay you for the success in helping us build channels of distribution into which we sell and market our products. And that is simply how our business model works. So there are 2 ways for you to earn as a wealth engineer here at DuePoint. We've got 2 programs. It's called the Returns Program and the XP Rewards Program. We'll look at the XP Rewards Program last, but let's look at the Returns Program. This is the most important program because this is the money that we pay our wealth engineers every single month. It works like this. We pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that you have in your channel. So remember the slide with all the dots on, what your channel could look like? Imagine getting paid for every single one of those product owners that you saw on the slide every single month, because it's recurring income, right? But it's dependent on where the product lies. So the first 5 people that you introduce to DuePoint, right? This is just an example. Don't come to me afterwards and say, do I have to add 5 people now? No, it's just an example, right? 5 people. Those are the 5 people you've introduced personally. We call that your first point. And on your first point, you earn double the R27.50. So if you introduce 10 people, you're earning R550 every month. You understand? When those people go out and connect other people to DuePoint and they become product owners, that product lies on what we call your second point. And again, on your second point, you earn R55 every single month. And as your channel starts to grow and grow and grow, you see the product gets further and further away from you. And the further away from you it gets, the multiplier drops steadily, all the way out to the 8th point. But by the 8th point, you are earning 4% of the R27.50, but we don't limit you or restrict you to your 8th point. We've got wealth engineers, in the space of 2 years, they are close to 30 points in their channels, right? They are not restricted on how big their channels can get, because we will keep paying you from the 8th point to infinity, in theory, 4% of the R27.50. There is no limitation on how much money you can earn at DuePoint. That responsibility falls squarely on your shoulders. If you want more, push harder for longer. This business is about time and numbers, and you can't manipulate time. Right? You can pray as much as you want. God's not going to change time for you. It's a lesson in patience and endurance. But what you can do is you can push harder. Right? You push harder and you're patient. You can get to anywhere you want in this business. So, exactly where is getting where I want to in this business? How long is this going to take? How long before I'm wealthy? How long before I can get a GTI or a Porsche like your friend? So what we did was we built a projection. This will allow you to understand realistically what you can achieve at DuePoint on a certain amount of activity, right? So we call it the path to success. It is a 5-year projection. So here's a lovely 5-year plan for anyone who doesn't have their 5-year plan at home. How many people actually have 5-year plans? No one. Okay, good. I'm about to give you one. All right, so the activity that we assume is called what we call 3+2. It assumes in your first month you can connect 3 people to DuePoint successfully. And every consecutive month thereafter, you only have to connect 2. So, for example, you connect 3 in October. That's your first month. And then every consecutive month, November 2, December 2, January 2, February 2, right? It's a very moderate growth model if you have the patience to keep doing it. That's where people get stuck. They like to have 1 month on, 1 month off, 1 month on, 1 month off. But if you can do 2 months, 2 people every single month, after 6 months of pushing, you'll be earning about R2,500 a month. This is my opportunity to look through the audience and see the deadpan faces. R2,500. Are you all so unimpressed by R2,500 a month? Or are you just trying to work out if that's worth your time? I earn this much, I work that long. That's a great example, right? Because I fell of the same reaction. I was also like, because the accountants in the business, actually we had actuaries that built this policy success, it's fairly complicated. But when they told us, this is what we're going to tell the wealth engineers at the intro presentation, this is an accurate projection over the next 5 years, I said, 2,500 rand after 6 months. Who's going to join for that? That doesn't sound like a lot. What was I doing? I was making a grave mistake. I make that mistake every day, by the way, is that I give money its value in terms of spending value. Don't we all do that? Here's a little example. Imagine today was your lucky presentation day and Rob, like Oprah, decided he was going to do a giveaway at the presentation. So if you look under your chairs, you'll find 2,500 rand under everyone's chair. No, everyone refuses to fall for it, right? One day there's going to be money there and you're going to be sorry when I pull the 2,500 rand out from under your chair and say, sorry for you. Let's imagine there was 2,500 rand under everyone's seat today. It was your lucky presentation, right? And you put it into your wallet or into your handbag. How long would it last? It's Saturday morning.
Lunchtime.
See, Donnie's got plans for lunch.
I'm staying with 3 women.
Right? Think about it realistically. Think it in your head, because you've had money in your wallets before, right? Right? Whatever the windfall was. How long realistically would that money last? Do you know why it doesn't last long? Why we give it spending value? Because no one is really aspiring to create wealth in their lives. We all think like consumers. I think like a consumer constantly. We are bombarded by advertising that promotes consumerism constantly. And it's very difficult to be an active consumer and to build wealth in your lives. So here's the example. Remember I said at the beginning of the presentation, when we speak about wealth, one of the first obstacles we have to get over is debt. And our hope is that people will actually aspire to getting rid of their debt as quickly as possible, because paying your debt off faster is actually the same exercise as investing money. And so suddenly, if you've got an extra 2,500 rand a month, you're left with a decision of what you're going to do with that money. Are you going to be a consumer and buy something? Or do you actually take that money and try to turn it into more money? Who would like to make more than the 2,500 rand every month? All of you. But it's staring you in the face. Because if you want to derive more value out of 2,500 rand, all you have to do is make another decision about how you spend it. So I'm going to illustrate it to you. Here's someone with debt. I assume everyone in the room has got debt, right? I can safely say 95% of us are indebted. Here's an example with someone who's gone out and bought property. Well, they financed the property because you don't have money in the bank to buy property cash, right? And so the bank agreed to finance that property on behalf of that person. And you entered into what we call a bond agreement with the bank. The bank said, here's the money, but you're going to pay us back. We know it's a lot of money, so we'll let you pay it off over a long period of time, 20 years, for example. And at the interest rate we're going to give you, we look at your credit record, and they actually profile your risk before they give you an interest rate, and they decide, okay, prime plus 2, over 20 years you're going to pay back the 1 million rand. And you agree, right? Because everyone, that's how pretty much the majority of the population pays off property. You're going to be paying back the bank 11,500 rand a month for 20 years before you're the homeowner of that 1 million rand property. So if you're 40 like me, I'll make my last payment when I'm 60. So that'll be the first time I become a homeowner, at 60 years of age. Hopefully I haven't been retrenched in the meantime. Hopefully petrol hasn't gone up too much that I can't even afford my bond in that period of time. But I joined DuePoint at 40, and 6 months later, I'm earning 2,500 rand. I remember Rob saying, pay your debt off faster. There's value in that. So I do. I put the 2,500 rand as an additional payment on top of my bond payment. What is the net result of that? It means that I'll pay that particular bond off in 11 and a half years instead of 20. I've nearly halved my bond term. Do you know how much money that 2,500 rand will save you in interest that you would have been paying to the bank? It saves you a hair under 900,000 rand, because the bank is charging you 2.5 times the value of the asset to finance it over 20 years. There is so much value in the money just based off a decision that we get to make. At 12 months, you're earning 9,000 Rand a month in monthly recurring income. That's an extra 100,000 Rand a year. Who got a 100,000 Rand bonus this year? What's that? What's a bonus? Bonus for what? Imagine picking up 100,000 Rand. We're coming close to December. Who's getting excited by December and who's getting anxious about December? December's an expensive month, right? You've got all these little hungry faces looking at you, creating Christmas lists. You see the kids' shoes aren't fitting anymore. They need new school uniforms. There's school fees that have to be paid. Traveling to family over December. So how about coming to pick up a 100,000 Rand check every December? How would that help you? At month 24, you're earning nearly 30,000 Rand a month. Remember, you're still adding 2 people every single month to your first point in this business. After 36 months, you're close to 50,000 Rand. 48 months, you're close to 70,000 Rand. And after 60 months, short 5 years, your 5-year plan to get to 1 million Rand in annual recurring income. Who can realistically imagine that they could be picking up a 1 million Rand check from DuePoint every year? Imagine having your name with a check, a 1 million Rand check, with your name on it. And it doesn't say Lotto in the top right corner. That's what you've got to work for. You don't have to believe me at this stage. Make a short-term goal. Make 2,500 Rand after 6 months your first goal. Because that puts you on this journey. You don't have to believe me. I don't expect you to believe me. But this is where our wealth engineers are on their roads to. We've got wealth engineers in this room that are on this road. But you have to take it a month at a time. And it's 2 people that you're connecting every single month onto your first point successfully. But this is just academic, right? This is something the actuaries put together, a projection, theoretical. But we've got wealth engineers that are doing it. And we've got wealth engineers that we bring up onto stage every single month to come share their stories with us. This is like the review on Amazon, right? Before you go buy something online, you go check the review first. This is like the review. People believe the reviews. People believe the testimonies, right? That's why they're so powerful. Because the testimonies are typically very real. Sandra was up, she'll tell you everything that is horrible about the business. But she'll tell you everything that's great about the business. And she's still around, so that must mean that it's been worth it. The horrible has been worth it. That's the judgment call you're going to constantly be making. So let's take a look at Sandra's 2 years in the business, right? We've paid her just over 21,000 Rand in the 2 years. She's got a business that is 8 points wide. She's got nearly 400 people in her business over that period. But this last number, this 5,600 Rand. So the story of Sandra is that she joined the business, worked a few months, and then went on a 1-year holiday. Lucky, right? But remember, we don't pay people for activity in this business. We pay you for the asset that you've built. And so even while Sandra was on a 1-year holiday, we still paid her 5,600 Rand. That's why you invest time into building assets instead of just chasing once-off, monthly-based, commission-based, activity-based income. Because what you're actually doing is wasting your time. Because you've got nothing to show for it. Here, Sandra had something to show for it. Granted, she didn't spend enough time building her channel. But she's back. That's why we brought her on stage. We said, Sandra, come tell us, why are you back? So go watch her video, right? Because it's very authentic. You'll laugh. You're all going to go through the same thing. You start the business and then you become disillusioned. There's excuses. There are endless excuses why you come and go. But we have open arms when you come back. Fortunately. Imagine we stayed at the door and said, no, you can't come in. Stay outside. We don't do that, right? So now she's building her asset again. Then we got Casper and Madeleine, wonderful couple from Pretoria. They joined us the week we launched the business. So they've been in business for 2.5 years. Their current channel value is sitting at over 7,000 a month already. So that's wonderful. They've earned nearly 50,000 Rand. Their channel size is sitting at over 500 people. Look at the size of their channel, 13 points. This is the person I said who made a very wise decision in bringing a strong person in on their first point. Because that strong person actually did most of the work for Casper. He knows it. We berate him all the time when he comes in, right? And he had a similar story. The line to success is not a straight line. Who thinks it's a straight line? Oh, you're going to learn a horrible lesson. It is all over the place. The only people that get to success are the ones that endure the line, whatever it looks like. The ones who give up when the line starts to drop a little bit, they just start again somewhere else. And they do it again. And then they join something else and they do it again. And they blame everything else. Right? If you just endure, this is a long-term game. You'll hear me compare this business to Comrades Marathon. Have you ever, anyone run Comrades Marathon? There we go. Is it straight? Is it straight? Is it straight? Oh, it's like this. I do lots of cycling. I went and did a cycling race that follows the Comrades route. And we started at Pietermaritzburg, right? So I thought, it's downhill. Pietermaritzburg to Durban's downhill, right? Let me tell you, the first 60 kilometers were uphill. I was complaining to everybody. I said, where are we going? We're going the wrong way. It is up and down, up and down. So Casper, he became disillusioned in the business. He left. Well, he didn't leave. He was still in DuePoint, but he was inactive, completely inactive. He wasn't referring anyone. He wasn't growing his first point. But in 2018, at the beginning of this year, and our system remained identical. We didn't change the system, but he had a change of attitude. Who knows what happened? Maybe he had a meeting with himself in front of the mirror one morning. But he suddenly had a change in attitude, and he got stuck into the business again. He became more committed. He had more belief in himself and what the business could do. And his earnings have gone up 7 times in the year. This year, everyone else's salaries are increased by 3%. 700% increase. And he has got way more value to unlock in his business because he's got a business that's 13 points wide, right? Then we got Lynette Bardenor. She's from Vanderbijl Park. She's a pensioner. Her channel value is sitting at over 16,000 a month. Similar story, but Lynette never gave up. Never gave up. So this is testament to this lady's endurance. But she still struggled because in 2017, she battled in 2017. We don't know why. She was still trying everything. Maybe she was just unlucky in terms of the people that she brought onto her first point. Who knows what it was? The lesson is that she pushed through 2017, and in 2018, she went from rank 3 to rank 7. She's rank 8 this month. She picked up an extra 20,000 Rand check this week. It's awesome. It is awesome. Go listen to her testimony. You want to see what belief looks like? Go listen to her testimony. Her husband even jokes that if there's an intro presentation the day he dies, his wife's going to be at the intro presentation. Right? Guys, it's just about commitment. With lots of value to unlock. We've nearly paid her 150,000 Rand. She's got 2,000 people in her channel. A pensioner from Vanderbijl Park. We have got thousands of people joining this business every single month. And just like Comrades Marathon, everybody is different. Everyone's running a different race. The system is identical for everybody. You are at liberty to decide what you want off the DuePoint table. Can you see the table? I've got the table here in front. There's 1,000 Rand a month. There's 10,000 Rand a month. There's 30,000 Rand a month. There's even 100,000 Rand a month. And anyone is free to come up to the table to decide what they want. But that is a fleeting decision. The real decision at DuePoint is how are you going to fit DuePoint into your life? We're not talking about a hobby. It's not a New Year's resolution. You can't become successful if you do the business when you feel like doing the business. And so you have to make a very accountable decision. How do I fit DuePoint into my life? Is DuePoint something I do every Saturday morning? Or did you only make time for Saturday morning to come watch the presentation? You have to decide how to fit it in. I don't know what else to tell people who think that this business is going to happen on its own. It is consistency that is required. Your accountability to push every single month. If you think it's worth it. If you don't think it's worth it, you'll be out the back door. That for me is the practical decision we need to make. Getting started is very straightforward. You can become a wealth engineer in 5 minutes. It's like becoming a business owner. You can go register your business at the registrar's office, maybe 6 months, takes a bit longer there. And then you call yourself a business owner. You can even get CEO business cards made for yourself. But it doesn't mean you're successful. Once you become a wealth engineer, you have to start applying yourself to the business. How do I become a successful wealth engineer? I'll tell you the first step is to go watch a little bit of training. Understand the business that you're getting involved in. Decide what you want out of the business. Set goals for yourself. It is the most underestimated principle in life is goal setting. How many people actually have goals? Something written down with a deadline. Very few of us do it. I don't know why. Some people argue, well, maybe there's too much vulnerability required, a little bit of courage required to actually set a goal, to write something down and go, I want an extra 10,000 Rand a month in 12 months' time. By 2019, November, I'm earning an extra 10,000 Rand a month. Set that as your goal, because that's the only way you prepare a plan to get there. The plan is, and that's 10,000 Rand after 12 months is the same as 3 plus 2. So I know that you need to be connecting 2 new people into your business every single month for 12 months before you can get to about 10,000 Rand a month. That's the plan. But how many people do you have to speak to get 2 people to join? Is it that much? Can't be that much. Maybe you need to speak to 10 people. That's the number you worry about. Don't worry about the 2. The 2 will happen on its own if you worry about the 10. So knock on 10 doors. One door, they might set the dog on you. One door, you might be chased down the driveway. But the one door, they might say yes. The next door, they say no, and they insult you. The next door, they say yes again. Does it mean that you stop knocking on doors? No. 10 doors. 10 doors a month to get 2 to join, so that you can be one of the people that get to 10,000 Rand a month after 12 months. Set the goals. It is the only way you plan for success. Get merchandise. Why is merchandise important? So you speak to the advertising, the branding guy. I'm going to tell you why it's important. Imagine you came to our offices. There was no logo. We had a school desk for the reception. When you asked to check your name on the system, we brought up an Excel spreadsheet and had to click Control F to find your name. And then when you walked in here, Rob was in his shorts. I forgot to brush my hair this morning. That is branding. Branding is everything that we do. When you walk into a room, people make a judgment call about who you are and whether they can trust you in split seconds. The brain is designed to do that. Merchandise helps increase your credibility. Because if you go to a meeting and you've got a notebook, perhaps a pen, and business cards, most importantly, people go, this person believes in the business they're claiming to be a proponent of. If you have nothing, they go, oh, this person's just hoping that I'm going to join. Guys, consider the merchandise. We can send it anywhere in South Africa. The business cards are the most important thing. Please consider getting the business cards. This will help you in connecting. You don't have to knock on 10 doors to get 2. Maybe only knock on 9 or 8 doors if you have merchandise. Do everything to increase your first impression in connecting people. Join our Facebook page. We're very active on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That YouTube channel is our platform for hosting all our videos, our training, all the testimonies. There's 500 videos on there. But more importantly, that camera in the corner of the room is broadcasting this intro presentation live 8 times a week. That's 8 individual live opportunities that you can connect people to every single week of the month. And we've been doing it non-stop for nearly 3 years. That's what we do for you. This is the support. You have to lean into the support. Make use of the YouTube channel. Whoops. Let's go back there. Download our mobile app for your smartphones. Available on Android and Apple devices. It is your business in the palm of your hand. When I talk about the flexibility in our business, that mobile app allows you to do the business. You don't need anything else. We had a wealth engineer up on stage the other day. He's got a health condition that doesn't allow him to leave his house. And he's built a channel that pays him money every single month from his house, from the mobile phone. Use the mobile phone. If you don't have a smartphone, there we go. Invest. Small investment into this business. Now onto the XP Rewards program. You can see the whole change, the presentations change. Can you see there? We've got palm trees, blue skies, beaches. Something's changed. This is not as important as the returns program. The returns program, that recurring income is the most important. But the rewards program is certainly visceral. It's fun. You can connect to these goals a little more easily than just an extra paycheck every single month. So the rewards program works like this. We basically just give you extra stuff, money, for the success that you have in building your channel of distribution. This, for us, is actually a training program. So you'll hear Brendan. When Brendan gives the intro presentation, he talks about this being a training program. This is where we get to curve culture and behavior in our business. But for you, you'll just see it as an incentive program, right? So how does it work? If you become a wealth engineer this morning, you will start out as a rank 0 wealth engineer. See, you're not even on the slide. To get onto the slide, to get to rank 1, very easy. You only need 1,000 XP. You can do that in 30 seconds. And you need 4 products in your qualified channel. How do you get XP? XP stands for experience points. We give wealth engineers XP for everything that they do wealth engineer, DuePoint related. You come to a presentation, you bring guests, you do home presentations, you look at your mobile app every day, you get XP for everything, right? So that's very simple. Once you meet those 2 criteria, you become rank 1, and we give you an extra 55 Rand at the end of the month. Are you rich with 55 Rand? No. Everyone's a bit hesitant. Hold on, he's going to say something. I am going to say something. You take that 55 Rand and you go give yourself some self-love. Because you've just got onto the board at DuePoint. And if you're on the board at DuePoint, you can get anywhere on the board at DuePoint. Look at rank 20. People at the back, you might be able to see it. You need 500 million XP. You need 25,000 products in your qualified channel. Imagine getting to that point. If you're at rank 1, you're on your way to rank 20. The person at rank 20 is doing exactly the same thing the person at rank 1 is doing. What is that? Knocking on doors. Your activity does not change. It is just your endurance. It is time. It's just time separating you between rank 1 and rank 20. And then as you rank up, yes, the 55 Rand gets bigger. There's a 20,000 Rand check. That's the 20,000 Rand check that Lynette and Frikkie got this week. There's a 50,000 Rand check. We give tools to our wealth engineers to help them build more effectively. We got rank 7 business cards that cost us an absolute fortune. So Lynette should be getting hers soon. Sure, they're painful business cards to do, I must admit. I tried to source a different supplier for our business cards. One overseas, because Americans, they make these business cards all the time. They're called luxury business cards. $2,000 was the quote I got for one set, right? So we're sticking with our local supplier. They still do a wonderful job. I was just looking for a discount somewhere, you know what I mean? 12,500 Rand for one set of business cards. Why would we spend so much money on business cards? Again, credibility, branding. When you sit down at a meeting, no one's heard of Constantia, no one's heard of DuePoint, but you put a 12,500 Rand business card down on the table that's emblazoned in gold, DuePoint, with your name on the other side, your credibility goes through the roof. People will give you time to talk and they will listen to you. At rank 9, our first recurring reward. This is where we take you and your family to our rank 9 international conference every single year for the rest of your life. Business class flights, 7 days away, 5-star luxury resort, every single year for the rest of your life. Your children will grow up not knowing what economy class is. Think about that. That's setting your kids up. Right? So take a look. We document every rank 9 trip. This is last year's trip. We were at the Western Turtle Bay in Mauritius. You're very welcome to go Google the resorts we're going to. This year we're going to Little Fair in Mauritius again.
When all of your wind has gone and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sand where no one can see you stand. Don't let the dark embrace cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up. We will start from the start. 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 We will start from the start.
Rank 9 is for every single person in this room. It's on the table. You get to decide how quickly you want to get to rank 9. One gentleman did it in 5 months. You're going to be earning between 20 and 30,000 rand a month by the time you get there. You're going to be going on an overseas trip with your family, business class, all expenses paid trip every single year for the rest of your life. He did it in 5 months. Some wealth engineers took a year, some took 2 years. You decide. No one is going to dictate it to you. 2 ranks later, we spend $250,000 rand buying you a brand new car. Who would like a car with no debit order at the end of the month? That happens. Look, that's already happened. Wealth engineers did that in under 2 years. No DuePoint stickers on the car. You're not going to be a walking advertisement out there or driving advertisement. But that's available. You can choose any car you want. It is up to you. You are just getting warmed up. Believe it or not, you're just getting warmed up at rank 11. Because our program goes up to rank 28. But that's 20, 25 years in. But what happens at rank 28 if you're getting a car at rank 11? About a year ago, one of the ladies said, "A new husband." That husband better pull his socks up, right? So this is our rewards program. This is what it looks like. It is available for everybody. If you can get to rank 1, you can get to any rank. Remember that. That little 55 rand, when I say you go celebrate with it, I mean it sincerely. Go celebrate with that 55 rand. National encounters, so for the balance of the year, so we've already had 2 national encounters. This is our roadshow that we're having around South Africa currently. You can see we've got 3 destinations left. We've got Bloemfontein, Bombela, and Cape Town left. These are awesome opportunities for you to build your channel suddenly in other parts of the country. So if you know anybody near any of these destinations in those provinces, and if you know somebody who you think knows somebody in those provinces, you make a list and you knock on some doors, you make some phone calls. You phone 20, 10 will tell you to bugger off, 5 will say they're going, 2 will arrive, right? We'll make sure that at least 1 signs up. That is the way you build a channel. Take advantage of these encounters that we're doing in the rest of the country. So make note of the dates, go onto our website, click on the events button, you will see these encounters listed there. You click on register yourself and as many guests as you want for each of these events. We go down there and we do 3-4 hour business seminars that are belief building seminars. Business is about credibility. It is 3-4 hours where we instill tremendous belief in the people in these towns and cities so that wealth engineers can start growing their channels nationally. Would you like a national channel or just a Joburg channel? National, baby, right? No expense to you because of the technology we have installed here at DuePoint. So make note of those national encounters. They're available on the website. On Tuesday, this is the most exciting event. I love the Tell All Tuesday. So this is where we get to invite wealth engineers up onto stage to tell their stories. So testimony straight from a wealth engineer's mouth. So this Tuesday, we're having our October Tell All Tuesday intro presentation. It is a wonderful event, right? Because when you have real people standing on stage telling you about their experience in the business, like I say, everyone's running a different race, so every story is different. We've got people that have come and gone and come back. We've got people that have been here from the beginning, pushing. We're going to have some wonderful wealth engineers. We've got a couple that's probably got one of the biggest channels in our business that's going to be coming up, and they're going to be telling their stories. It is a wonderful opportunity for you to bring guests to that evening because those events are very successful at DuePoint. So make note of that. Again, you can register online. The live stream is there available for you to live stream from anywhere in the country. And that, my friends, is the intro presentation. My invitation to our guests this morning is to come join us here at DuePoint. We've got a table offering so much. It is a table of prosperity, but it has a price. That price is time sacrifice. Who's written 2018 off? Don't be shy if you're tired of 2018. You have all the reason in the world to be tired of 2018. I was speaking to someone, actually one of our staff, was tired of 2018. She just said, no, she wants to see the back of 2018. She wishes it was the last day of 2018. Because 2019 has got so much hope in store for everybody. Right? Why do we think 2019 is going to be better? It isn't. The only thing that's going to be better is if you make it better. And this business is an invitation to make it better for yourself. You have to take control over it. No one is going to motivate you in this business. You have to find the motivation yourself. There is enough necessity. We have got 100 reasons to do this business. But in your mind, you have to have a big reason. What is it? Do you want to be able to send your kids to better schools? Do you want to be able to provide for your family? What is the reason that gets you out of bed and thinks about DuePoint instead of every other worry that you have in your life? So come join us at DuePoint. Try this business. We've designed it so that there's very little risk for you. That is my invitation, to turn 2018 around before the last day of 2018, before you write it off. Set yourself up for 2019. We've got these national encounters. It's just you required to phone a couple of people. Phone them and invite them. See what happens. If you have any questions, come speak to me afterwards. Otherwise, I wish everyone a prosperous, 8 weeks left of the year? Is it 8 weeks? No, it's about 10 weeks. 10 weeks left of the year. Good luck. Thank you. Oh, I forgot to mention, we've got a launch workshop at 11:30 starting. So if any new wealth engineers, whether you're new, whether you're only joining today, whether you're still a guest and you're still trying to decide, we've got a 30-minute workshop that explains exactly what you've got to do in the business when you get started. It is a launch pad to becoming profitable in our business as quickly as possible. 30 minutes, 11:30.